Omnisphere's envelopes are unique because they are extremely powerful and at the same time really easy to use. In this tutorial, we'll go over its features and you'll see how easy it is to get very complex envelope shapes really fast. Each part in Omnisphere has 8 envelopes. Each layer has its own amp and filter envelopes, and then there are 4 mod envelopes per part. One of the unique features in Omnisphere's envelopes is that each one has 2 interfaces. There's always been 2 competing design philosophies between ADSRs, which are fast and easy to use, and complex envelopes, which are more powerful and flexible, but not as fast or easy to use. In Omnisphere, we combine both of these ideas into one. Let's start by looking at the ADSR interface of the amp envelope. Here are the traditional attack, decay, sustain, and release, which you're probably familiar with. I can control this envelope from the ADSR sliders, or from the envelope zoom, which can be accessed by clicking on this magnifying glass display. In this page, more complex edits can be performed, like changing the curvature and the shape of each segment. The shape of each segment can be changed by right-clicking on it and selecting the desired curve from this menu. In this case, it's set to curve 1. So I'll go ahead and select curve 2, and you'll see curve 2 allows for steeper curves than curve 1. Now let's try pulse, spike, step, linear, bump, and you can see right away that some of these are more exotic than others. 4 pulses, and 3 pulses. So you can see it's really easy to work on the envelope zoom and get complex envelope shapes right away. Points can be added by right-clicking and choosing Add. And if you do that between 2 points, a new point is inserted in the middle of the stage. If done by right-clicking on a point, the stage beginning with that point is duplicated and all the points to the right are shifted to make room for it. This envelope now has more than 4 points, which converts it to a complex envelope. The fact that this is not a simple ADSR anymore is reflected in the edit page with this display. Now here's something really interesting. Although the envelope is complex, the ADSR sliders still have an effect on it. I've MIDI learned the sliders to demonstrate how this works. The attack and release control the first and last segments respectively. The decay slider now controls the segment before the release, and the sustain slider controls the point before the release. Any complex envelope can be converted into a simple one by going back to the edit page and clicking on this button. We just converted the complex envelope we were working with into a regular ADSR. Let's check it out in the envelope zoom. Very cool. Now let's check out the rest of the envelope zoom interface. Just like other sections of the instrument, envelopes have their own presets, which can be accessed from this drop-down menu. Envelope presets are made to bring you the power of complex envelopes really fast without having to spend a lot of time programming them. These also work great as starting points for you to customize, especially using a really cool feature called Chaos, which I'm going to show you soon. Here are the zooming controls. The speed slider shows how fast the envelope is played. When creating envelopes that are synchronized to the host, it's recommended that the speed slider is at the center position. This velocity control mirrors the one in the edit page. All envelopes can be looped and synchronized to the host. Trigger modes are not available for amp and filter envelopes, so let's switch to mod envelopes. There are a few differences between amp and filter envelopes and mod envelopes. One of them, as I mentioned earlier, is that amp and filter envelopes are per layer and mod envelopes are per part. Like LFOs, mod envelopes are monophonic. You could think of mod envelopes as unipolar LFOs that allow you to draw your own shapes. There are 3 trigger modes available. When set to note, the envelope is re-triggered with every note that's played. When set to legato, the envelope is re-triggered only on the first note of a legato passage. When set to song position, the envelope follows the song position in the host. Mod envelopes have a depth slider instead of velocity. This controls the output signal of the envelope. I'm going to go ahead and load a preset. Let's try this one. And I've already assigned mod envelope 1 to modulate amplitude, so this is what it sounds like. This edit menu allows for different functions. Repeat repeats the envelope starting from the attack until the sustain. I'll select it and you can see right away how this envelope is twice as long. I'm going to go ahead and make some adjustments to the last beat to create some variation. I'll select shape 4 pulses here and also here. And I'm going to set the level of this one at about here and this one here. Okay, let's check it out. Cool. Repetitions can be removed by selecting Unrepeat. And envelopes can also be played halftime or double time. Okay, now let's go over these functions. Snap will snap a point to 16th notes. The shortcut for it is Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC. Lock locks all following points. The shortcut for it is Command on a Mac or Control on a PC. XY constrains the movement horizontally or vertically. The shortcut for it is Shift. Fine allows editing at a finer resolution. And Scale proportionately scales the duration of all the segments in the envelope. And keep in mind that most of the shortcuts I mentioned for these functions can also be used in combination with each other. Now let's talk about one of the most innovative features in Omnisphere's envelopes, Chaos. Chaos allows you to change the contour of an envelope by pressing just one button. Using Chaos, it's really easy to get complex shapes. The Curves probability slider controls how many segments will have their curve changed. The Levels probability slider controls how many points will have their levels changed. You can use Auto Chaos in mod envelopes to create constantly evolving shapes. Instead of static envelopes, Auto Chaos will make the envelopes come alive. I have a synth sound already in progress in which this mod envelope is modulating amplitude. I'm going to turn Auto Chaos on, and with these settings, it's only going to add variation to a couple of the curves every time the loop cycles. Okay, now I'll go to the edit page and modulate hard sync using another envelope. And notice how mod envelope 2, the next available envelope, is automatically selected. I'll go to mod envelope zoom and turn on Auto Chaos here too. And let's check it out. So the envelopes in Omnisphere allowed me to easily create a sound that's constantly evolving. The chaos features, the interface design, the presets, and most of all the ease of use make the envelope so flexible that it'll allow you to get very unique sounds really fast. The envelopes are a key element of Omnisphere, so make sure you spend some time exploring them.